How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Bengals, Rams in the Super Bowl. Who predicted this one this year? Not even as a Bengals fan, I'm be honest. That wasn't me. I'll tell you that much. But Rams, seen them there. Team loaded top to bottom, both sides of the football. Definitely thought you'd see them there. Bengals, on the other hand, coming off a 4-12 season, turning things around this season in a big way, appearing in the Super Bowl. I think this is a game where you look and say, you can't really compare it to recent games for either one of these teams. I don't think the Rams have seen a team like the Bengals so far in the playoffs. I don't think the Rams or the Bengals have seen a team like the Rams so far in the playoffs. The Bengals have been a mind-blowingly resilient bunch throughout the season, and again against the Chiefs twice now. They've come from behind and won games from major deficits. The problem is, sure, the Bengals can do that, but again, they have not seen a team like the Los Angeles Rams where you let that team get a multiple possession lead, 2-touchdown lead. They have closers on this team. They have multiple closers on this team. Von Miller, Aaron Donald. You got Ramsey out wide. Completely different defense that this Cincinnati Bengals team is going to go up against compared to Tennessee, compared to Kansas City. If they fall behind early, and that's why we've seen it in a lot of Rams games where they really can just start to stomp on a team's throat and run away with a football game. Bengals got to be careful. Bengals have to stay aggressive. They have to make sure they are keeping this game close. If it falls behind, it's going to get a little bit ugly. Especially considering, again, I would more than likely expect 5+ sacks out of this game, out of this Rams defense. They haven't had as many sacks in playoffs. They played a little bit tougher offensive lines in playoffs. They're still third in the league in sacks this season. And it's a Bengals team where, again, you just consider the matchups. You're going to have Aaron Donald just bull rushing down the middle, causing Burrow to have to scramble. Thing is, you know, right-handed quarterback, what you're going to do, you're going to scramble. You're going to scramble to the right side of your line. And it's no secret at this point in time that the Bengals' biggest hole in the offensive line is Prince on right tackle. And he's been getting beat a lot. Hopefully he has a big game. Hopefully he plays well. Don't want to see the guy struggle, but if they can't shore things up, I think that's going to be a major problem for the Bengals offense. A Bengals offense that, mind you, is an offense I don't think the Rams have seen anything like so far. I mean, this is a three-headed monster in Boyd, Higgins, and Chase out wide. And I think you really look at the key matchup, if you will, for this Bengals team and the Rams defense is who wins the battles not involving Jalen Ramsey. The Bengals receivers have to beat players not named Jalen Ramsey. They have to beat them off the line of scrimmage. They have to get open quickly. Because again, you expect that pass rush. You expect Burrow to be taking some hits in this game. These guys have got to win the battle on the line of scrimmage. And more importantly for the Bengals, you got to make sure these guys have opportunities to be open on these short passing routes. We've seen a lot of times in these last couple weeks where Burrow's taking sacks because you got 3 of their 4 receivers running deep routes that take time to develop. You can't be doing that against the Rams. You flip things around, you look at the Rams on offense, a team that, look at Odell Beckham Jr. go again. It looks like he's starting to come back into his own over here for the Rams, playing really well. Obviously being a complimentary piece, probably never expected to hear that one. Being a complimentary piece, though, to the guy that's just been an absolute stud in Cooper Kupp this season. You got to stop Cooper Kupp. That's your number one priority. Let Beckham beat you. You have to find a way to stop Cooper Kupp. But again, Bengals ain't seen that this season. Not in the postseason, at least, where they've had this, well, I'm going to call it two-headed monster out wide. We've seen them play the wide receiver tight end game. We've seen them battle with that in a couple of different games this season or in this postseason, but we haven't seen them quite go up against a player like the caliber of Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr. on both sides here. I think that's going to be, again, a tough matchup for this Bengals defense. And I look for the Rams to exploit that to the best of their abilities if they want to win this football game. Major part of the Rams trying to win this football game, because the Rams, the run game has not been the greatest of late. It really hasn't. They've been struggling. The Bengals run defense has been rather good. Now, granted, no more Ogunjobi. They've a few more holes, but I think you looked at it and said, hey, the Bengals can get a stop early on the early downs in the run game, force this team to throw the football. If the defense can find a way to get those second and long, third and longs, I think they'll be able to get off the field. I tell you what, though, we talked about what the Bengals need to do. The key to the Bengals winning, the key to the Rams winning, is Matthew Stafford has to avoid making them silly passes that turn into interceptions, throwing in those double, triple coverages. We've seen it a couple different occasions. He gets a little pressure on him. He has a very ill-advised pass that goes to the wrong team. And it's the Bengals defense that, now, look, granted, they've given up some points. They've had their spots throughout the year, really, specifically the first half. And I think that's important for the Bengals. They've been a second half team all year. The thing is, being a second half team against a team that is, again, as we say, full of a team of closers on defense, you can't afford to be the second half team. You have to come out firing early. But it has been a Bengals defense that is a huge part of why the Bengals are in the Super Bowl right now. Because they have created the big turnovers when it matters. They've gotten off the field when it matters in key situations. A lot of times we see Burrow, Bengals turn that football over. The defense comes out there unfazed. Goes out there, gets right back off the field. And I would look for them to go out there, cash in on them opportunities this week if Stafford were to turn that football over. And I think this is a team that can run on his defense. I think Mixon's been an outstanding running back this season for the Bengals. And I think he's going to find his lanes in this game. They just, again, have to avoid falling behind a lot in this game. I tell you what else I'd like to see out of the Bengals in this one. And we talk about it a lot. Watching a lot of Bengals games. It probably won't happen. But I would like to see a little bit of a slow, hurry-up tempo out of the Bengals. But I mean a little no-huddle action. But, take it slow to the line. Where you force these pass rushers on the Rams to go out there and play every down if you can. Now, Donald, that man's an absolute monster anyway. He's a freak. He's out there like 90% of the time anyway. But if you can get a little bit of relief for the rest of this offensive line by wearing down some of them other guys, that could be a big help here. And that's a big deal because we've seen Burrow make some just absolutely head-turning phenomenal plays on his legs these last few games. Extending plays, getting the first down, whether it be through the air or with his legs. So to kind of close that pocket in on him makes things a little bit more difficult. I tell you what, we said it once, we'll say it again. You do not bet against Joe Burrow in the big games. This guy comes to play like no other in the big games. He finds a way to win the big games. I think this defense makes those big plays. I think this Bengals offense finds a way to move this football down the field. I think the Bengals win this football game, take home their very first Super Bowl, 24-27 Bengals. Love you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.